Hello everyone and welcome to the final set of videos in our biological molecule series. Today we're going to be looking at fats and oils, which was the tiny section of the Eat Well guide, and if you haven't looked at it, head over to our channel and look at our Eat Well guide video where there's a competition to design the best healthy and balanced meal. So send us in your entries and we're really excited to see what you have put. So subscribe to our channel if you want to get notifications when we upload new videos. So on to the topic today of fats. So fats are called lipids and they make up, as I said, the tiny portion of the Eat Well guide. Some fat in the diet though is important for reasons that we'll talk about in the video. However, it's important that we don't consume too much fat, particularly saturated fat, as this is dangerous and increases cholesterol levels and leads to an increased risk of health problems such as cardiovascular disease. So first of all, the sources of fats. So fats are found in things like oil, such as this vegetable oil here. So you can have sunflower, olive or vegetable oil. It's also found in products like butter, ghee, cheese, also things like milk, especially if you're going to be having whole milk or full fat milk. And when we talk about fats and oils, the fats are solid or semi-solid at room temperature like butter, and the oils are liquid at room temperature like olive or vegetable oil. The structure of fats. So you can see on the screen we have two different types of fats, and that's unsaturated or saturated fats. And unsaturated means they contain one or more double bonds. So when we have one double bond, we call this a monounsaturated fat, and when they have more than one, we call it a polyunsaturated fat. And that's indicated, as I said, in the picture on the screen. And a saturated fat means it contains single bonds, as you can see. So the examples of the monounsaturated fats are oleic acid, and that's like olive oil or rapeseed oil. And examples of polyunsaturated fats include omega-3, which is really important for the brain and the nervous system and is found in things like oily fish. And just like the proteins, we have essential and non-essential fatty acids. And the essential fatty acids cannot be made in the body, and that's like the omega-3 and the omega-6. So we need to consume them in our diet. For example, omega-6 comes from nuts, and a good source of omega-3 is oily fish. And finally, the fats and oils are made up of what we call triglycerides, which means they are made up of 3 fatty acid molecules, the monomers, and also a molecule of glycerol. And that's why when we consume fats, they're broken down by an enzyme called lipase to produce fatty acids and glycerol. So there's many functions of fats in the body, even though we only need a small amount of fat in the diet. So firstly, the structure of living cells. So they form really structural components in the body, such as cell membranes. So fats are important for that. They're also important for insulation, so keeping us warm, and fats form a layer under the skin to keep us warm, and also for energy storage within the body. We also have some vitamins, so vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E and vitamin K, which are fat-soluble vitamins. So we need the fat to carry those vitamins around the body and help with their intake and their absorption. They're a really concentrated energy source. So fats provide 9 calories per gram compared to 4 calories per gram for carbohydrates and for proteins. So they give us a lot of energy. And they're also an important contribution to flavour and texture and increasing the liking of foods. So that's just some of the reasons why we need to consume fats in our diet. But as I said, we need to be careful not to consume too much fat within the diet. And talking about fat consumption in a day, we recommended to consume no more than 30 grams of saturated fat per day if we're a male adult, and no more than 20 grams of saturated fat per day if we are a female. So before we go, we have the final quiz. So question number 1, what type of fat has a double bond? That's right, it's an unsaturated fat. So question number 2, which of the following is liquid at room temperature? Is it an oil or is it a fat? That's it, it's an oil. Next question, what are 2 of the functions of fat in the body? So for that one, you can have any of the following. So the structure of living cells, so cell membranes, energy storage, insulation, carriers of fat-soluble vitamins, texture and flavour of food, or an energy source. 4th question, give an example of an essential fatty acid. So for that one, you could have omega-3 or omega-6. And the last question is, why do we need to eat omega-3? And the answer to that one is it is important for the brain and the nervous system function. And don't forget, you can find omega-3 in things like oily fish. So that's it on the biological molecules. Our next video will be looking at exploding rainbow volcanoes. That'll be a really fun one to do outside, looking at acids and alkalis. So we hope we'll see you for that one. Please do let us know any comments in the comments box below the video, or send us any tweets or Instagram posts if you want to get in touch. So we hope you enjoyed today, and we'll see you for the next video. Bye everyone.